Hello, everyone. My name is Richard Coleman, and today I'll be discussing a book that I just read titled Be Our Guest: Perfecting the Art of Customer Service from Disney. The Disney Corporation is known around the world for their family-friendly fare, from movies to amusement parks. I'm sure you've seen the movies, you've probably been to the parks. What you may or may not know is that they're recognized worldwide as a leader in the hospitality industry. As incredible as it might sound, Disney did something even more amazing than all the movies and everything else that they've done. They recently decided to share the secrets of their success with all their competitors, as well as with you and I, when they released the book, Be Our Guest: Perfecting the Art of Customer Service. This is a little 224-page book that contains all the secrets to Disney's success, including 7 key ideas which we'll address during this presentation. Let's get started. The first key idea that we'll talk about today is the use of a carefully crafted quality service compass. Like the points on a compass, Disney's compass is meant to guide every Disney employee in offering great customer service. First is understanding customers and their needs. Disney refers to this as guestology. It involves discovering a guest's expectations and informing of cast members, which is what Disney calls all the people that work at the Disney parks, about what those expectations are. They then use this information to mold the perfect experience for each and every visitor. Immediately following that would be the quality standards. Once you know what guests want, you've got to provide them with the highest quality service that you possibly can. Disney breaks these standards into 4 categories. These categories are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. Safety, obviously, is concerned with the welfare and safety of guests and everyone else within the parks, while courtesy focuses on treating each guest with respect, like an individual, and making them feel important. Show ensures that everything about the environment is designed to provide the most enjoyable experience, while efficiency attempts to shorten wait times and other forms of waste which detract from the guest experience. The second key idea is that Disney uses strong and integrated systems in order to guarantee high quality service. In order to accomplish this, Disney focuses on 3 delivery systems: the employees or cast members, the setting, everything you see around you, and the processes, which is how everything works behind the scenes. Employees constantly strive to maintain their performance to the highest quality possible. Managers ensure that the setting crafts an illusion which the guests can enjoy. No matter where you are in the park, you feel like you're inside of a Disney story. And the processes, like I said, are the behind the scenes methods that they use to ensure a seamless experience for everyone as they move through the park. Now, some of these things you probably know about, some you don't know about. An example would be there is a whole network of tunnels beneath the surface, literally beneath the surface, through which all the cast members can move. That's the reason why you're always able to see a particular Disney character just sort of appear out of nowhere, interact with the guest for a few minutes, and then vanish through another door, only to reappear somewhere else. It's also how they make sure there are never 2 of the same character in the same area at the same time. Key idea number 3 is a service-oriented purpose. This is sort of a mission statement for the cast members, as well as a promise that they deliver to the customers or to the guests. In Disney's case, this can be encompassed by their motto, happiest place on earth. This sets the expectation for customers that they're going to be happy and they're going to enjoy their experience. It also provides a very simple and easy to remember goal for cast members. All they have to do at any given time is ask themselves, is what's happening right now worthy of the label happiest place on earth? And if it's not, how can I make it better? Key idea number 4 is considering how customers view the world that's been crafted for them. It involves all the senses. Did you realize that starting hours before the first guest arrives, Disney starts making popcorn for no better reason than to blow the smell of popcorn through every inch of the guest areas of the Disney parks? This background scent of fresh popcorn is very inviting and it makes you feel very comfortable and not a little bit hungry. So that's just one way that they use your senses to help get you involved in the world. They work hard to be accessible to their guests, and they want all of these little tricks that they use to be completely below the level at which you would consciously recognize them. The goal is for you to just take it all in and enjoy it. Sounds and music are carefully selected to both fit the part of the park that you're in and to be as open and happy and welcoming as possible so that it further builds that whole experience of being in a fantasy land. Even the textures of things like the curtains hanging in castles or objects that you might interact with within the park have been selected to give the best possible experience. Key idea number 5 goes even further to refine this guest experience by focusing on the foods available to guests at each area within the park. Each area of the park, for those that may or may not have been there, has a distinct theme based around some of the stories that Disney has told over the years. They even have a Star Wars area for those that are not familiar with their recent changes in the last few years. And because each area of the park has a distinct theme, specific foods are only available in those areas of the park, each chosen very carefully to enhance the authenticity of that area. For example, the Star Wars section of the park has delicious food, but it's food that looks like something you would expect within the Star Wars universe. If you've ever seen any of the movies, you've got, the blue milk drinks and you've got tasty treats that are named after certain characters from the Star Wars universe. That is something you see throughout the entire park, and in each different section, those foods have been custom selected just to fit the theme of that area. The goal is to avoid anything that might disrupt the illusion that the guests are immersed in. In other words, you wouldn't want somebody in a Beauty and the Beast area necessarily eating hot dogs and French fries. It just wouldn't fit with the theme, and it might draw the guests out of that fantasy. Key idea number 6 uses surveys to learn even more about guests. Now, that might sound a little less than guest friendly, but it's done very subtly. Yes, they do use online surveys when you're ordering your tickets and things like that, but they also do such simple things as you encounter cast members and they ask you questions about where are you from, how's your day, all that information is being gathered and accumulated to make your experience better. And I was actually really amazed when going through this book and looking up some additional things online because I didn't realize the length they went to tailor the experience for guests. In fact, I learned that in one particular park, Disney learned that they had a lot of Brazilian guests who would visit the park. And when they did, they tended to show up in large groups that would move around the park together. And often they would sing songs and do things that made them kind of stand out. So what Disney actually did was they hired a number of Portuguese-speaking cast members to work at that park. And they trained them in Brazilian customs and things like that so that they could respond to the guests appropriately and they could help make them feel even more at home, which I think is just an amazing thing that you would go to that level of effort for a group of your guests that might not necessarily be the largest group, but it still makes them feel special and helps them feel more comfortable and at home. And finally, we have key idea number 7. This is mostly behind the scenes, though it affects the guests immensely. Key idea number 7 works to shorten wait times, and if there's a completely necessary wait, they try to make it more enjoyable for the guests. Disney does this in a number of ways. First, they try to optimize every process in the park to make everything run as smoothly and efficiently as possible. Sometimes you just can't eliminate waits. You can't eliminate lines. For some of the rides and some of the things that you go to at Disney, you just have to stand in line because there are a lot of people that want to see them. So what they do is they then strive to make the experience of waiting in line part of the exciting adventure you're having. For instance, it's not uncommon to see a long line form, and then suddenly large numbers of costume cast members, in other words, the Disney characters that we all grew up with, will show up and put on a little performance in the area. Or they'll come up and interact with guests, do hugs, photos, things like that. In other areas, there are video screens providing a little clip of something that they're going to see once they get into the actual show itself. This allows people standing in line to feel like they're already inside enjoying what everybody else is. And it makes them feel better about the wait. Now, these are just the 7 key ideas that were covered in this book. There's a lot more information available, but I wanted to focus on one thing that was quick and easily digestible, something that I thought we could possibly all take and use in our own businesses or whatever we do moving forward. By considering these 7 simple ideas and applying them to one's own business operations, I think that businesses can learn to use these strategies that Disney does to build a better experience for every guest. And at the end of the day, a better experience for every guest is just how you build happy, loyal guests. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.